Hello everybody, Jet here, and today we are going to be talking about the Omens of Destruction DLC. More specifically, we're going to be taking a look at the Khorne boys. There should be timestamps in the description if you do want to jump to a specific bit and look at a certain thing. We'll talk about SKULLTAKER first, the new lord, and then we'll jump down to the changes to the current lords and heroes and mechanics, all that stuff, then come back and go through the legendary heroes and units. As it says on the screen at the top, let's jump right in. The SKULLTAKER, the Hero Slayer. So this is our new legendary lord. Let's have a quick look at him, sticking his tongue out there with his lovely cloak of skulls there. We will be coming back to this. So SKULLTAKER embodies Khorne's unyielding fury, taking immense pride in his martial abilities and viewing himself as an unstoppable force. His existence revolves around combat, never refusing a challenge and always eager to prove his superiority over others. Arrogant and bloodthirsty, he only respects those who dare face him in battle. Weaker enemies are swiftly dispatched, their skulls claimed without honour. His true glory lies in defeating powerful foes, cementing his reputation as a fearsome champion of Khorne's ideals of strength, dominance, and unrelenting warfare. Here's a quick look at what he's got to offer. So his battle play style. Few ascend to the exalted position of Khorne's champion, and those who do are assured to be lethal in every regard. A force of demonic destruction, SKULLTAKER excels at hunting down and dueling enemy lords before cleaving through the ranks of troops with his two-handed Slayer sword. His abilities include, the Slayer sword, an active augment. So SKULLTAKER's flaming demonic sword applies the dazed effect, reducing the target's weapon strength, armor-piercing damage, whilst bloodthirsting his own boosting his own armor-piercing and base weapon damage. Don't know why I read it as bloodthirsting there. I'm quite dyslexic. I do apologise. So an augment just to buff him up and reduce the enemies. Quite nice. Cloak of Skulls. So this is a passive one. Imbued with Khorne's might, SKULLTAKER's cloak greatly boosts his ward save and spell resistance. So makes him harder to kill. And Bloody Onslaught, another active ability. SKULLTAKER gains increased armor-piercing melee damage and the immune to flanking attribute. So, yeah, just a nice little buff. So the campaign mechanic for him, the Cloak of Skulls. So we'll come back and have a bit more of a dig into this after we've read it. SKULLTAKER's gameplay loop revolves around seeking out the strongest opponents, defeating them in brutal combat, and claiming their skulls as trophies. With each victory, he grows stronger, continually enhancing his prowess to take on even more powerful foes. At the onset of the campaign, we will see that all foreign lords on the map are marked with a champion's essence resource above them. To collect this rare resource, SKULLTAKER must defeat these powerful enemies in battle. Once claimed, this resource enhances the abilities of his Cloak of Skulls, which features multiple skulls at various levels. Players can apply Champion's Essence to unlock new bonuses or upgrade existing ones, granting the SKULLTAKER powerful new abilities and traits that greatly increase his strength and dominance in battle. So let's take a look at this now. So I can't really see every little bit, but here you go. So Mythir the Indomitable, which is going to be sent on. Ability to travel to enemy lords. That seems quite nice. Travel cost is reduced by 50%. Makes me think there's some sort of teleporting mechanic. Honestly, I don't know yet. Oh, and we can probably read it. Once an undefeated tongue. No, that doesn't tell. No. And other active effects he's got. So Blood God's Shackles, 25% experience, which is good. Movement range after defeating a lord. travel to enemy lords, and skulls after defeating a lord, extra skulls after defeating a lord. So that's quite good. So obviously this is going to be a rich, interesting set of buffs which all provide different things, and obviously there is a little cooldown there on this one. Obviously, as we start to get access, we'll see more of this, but I'm interested in where this will go. It looks like quite a fun way of doing it, because obviously by fighting, it's encouraging you to go out, sit there, fight, hunt, and defeat lords to get yourself various different buffs. Khorne Legacy updates. So this is all the updates to how the Khorne mechanics work and to the lords, all that stuff. So this should be available to everybody, I believe, whether or not you get the DLC. So first of all, the Skull Throne. You can now purchase rewards using skulls, with the amount you spend unlocking higher tiers of rewards. These create a progression loop that transforms what was once a single button into a dynamic feature, offering varied benefits such as bonuses to armies, growth, control, corruption stats, and more, recognizing that the previous version of the Skull Throne lacked choices for players. We set out to enhance its usefulness and value. As a result, there are now 10 unique Skull Throne actions available, allowing players to unlock higher tier actions by spending their skulls within the Skull Throne. They're still adding the final touch, so this is all work in progress. So, I mean, I can't really see much here, though. You can probably guess what some of these do. That's going to give money, experience, recruitment, corruption? But yeah, regen, I don't know, movement speed, I don't know, but yeah, so we'll find out more about that, I guess, as we get to see more. Unholy manifestations. Wielding the power of the gods should feel more useful, so we've taken some steps to improve their rewards, as well as giving the UI a good old tidy up. Eternal War. Base rewards. Spawns an army to fight at source. Upgrade rewards. Spawns an army to fight at force. And campaign movement range after battle to plus 25%. Okay, I'm not quite sure if that means somewhere else, but yeah, sounds interesting. Khorne's Glare. Base rewards, take control of an unoccupied ruin. Upgraded, take control of a ruin. Occupied ruin will be a tier 2 settlement. That's just nice. Slaughter Incarnate. Base rewards, character experience gain 150%. Upgraded 300%. Not bad, fairly solid. Especially early game, late game less so. Call of Battle. Base reward, target settlement will be raised. That's insane. I can't remember what it used to be. Upgraded will be raised, and so target settlement will be raised, and target settlement's province will become fully Khorne corrupted. That's solid. That's really good, and that's some really nice changes there. Okay. Economy. Our goal was to improve the clarity of the current Khorne sacking and post-battle loot economy. Now, only recruitment buildings, landmarks, and resource buildings generate passive incomes. Khorne's primary economic infrastructure focuses on increasing the global amounts gained from sacking, looting, and post-battle loot. So, more blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull's throne, and coins for the coffer, right? Army upkeep is now much easier to manage. By increasing your bloodletting level or constructing upkeep reduction buildings, it has become simpler for the sack and loot economy to thrive, even during turns of downtime between battles. This includes blood hosts, which no longer incur upkeep costs, which was always a bit of a pain. Additionally, recruitment costs have been reduced to better align with the value of units. The recruitment costs of units is no longer set at twice their value and now matches their base custom battle costs. Blood hosts. We found the current gameplay loop for Khorne felt too one-dimensional. primarily centered around about spawning infinite blood hosts without rewarding players for developing their own forces. To address this, blood hosts now require skulls to spawn when raising settlements, and they no longer incur upkeep costs. Not sure how that's going to stop people spawning infinite, but we'll see. This change encourages players to focus on recruiting a wider variety of forces beyond just blood hosts. So obviously it costs skulls, but you'll get skulls by killing things with blood hosts, so we'll see how that works. Bloodletting. Bloodletting is currently essential to every aspect of Khorne's faction, which we felt was not very intuitive and posed significant risks, as a loss of momentum could disrupt your entire empire. In order to mitigate this, bloodletting rewards are now specifically tied to the forces they are attached to, allowing more targeted benefits. These effects focus on maintaining momentum by providing bonuses for casualty replenishment, upkeep and recruitment. Additionally, we have adjusted the thresholds to bloodletting to make it easier to build momentum with new forces. That's actually quite good because it was very much built around the Realms of Chaos map, not the Empires map. And I've commented on this in a few of my campaigns. It's a lot of the benefits you get playing Khorne, because if you've ever played Khorne in the Realms of Chaos map, you'll know that you can just go and go and go. Whereas in the Immortal Empires map, it's just so big, there's so much room, it's very hard to really make the most of that. So it sounds, again, we'll have to see how it works in battle, but it sounds like they've spent some time rebalancing that to make it work a bit better, which will be good, because if we're playing Khorne, we want to be taking skulls, you know, just running around the place. Anyway, on to the next bit. Buildings. While adjusting the economy for Khorne, we made several changes to the effects of standard buildings, recruitment, and resources. New infrastructure building effects have been introduced, with the recruitment of demonic or mortal units now tied to the type of settlement. Interesting. Mortal recruitment chains can now only be built in settlements with the mortal settlement chain, while demonic units are restricted to demonic settlements. All resources now feature a unique set of effects, moving away from the previous standard of the same skulls and income effects. Not quite sure how I feel on that. It's just going to make recruiting a bit more of a pain, but we'll see how it goes. Demonic reforging. We recognise that demonic units were not aligning with the lore-inspired resilience, often making mortal units the preferred choice. Yeah, definitely. To address this, we have introduced a new feature for demonic factions, demonic reforging. Now, all demon units have a chance to be reforged after dying in battle. They can never be truly killed outside of the realms of chaos. By default, the chance for demons to return to battle is quite low. However, it is the possibility is influenced by various factors such as technology, skills, and most importantly, the corruption level of the province where the battle occurred. These factors will affect the amount of health a demonic unit returns to with after battle. It doesn't just say Khorne there, it just says demonic units. So I'm wondering if that's going to affect all of the demonic factions. I kind of like that. And it gives you a good reason for spreading corruption as well. Okay, tech tree. We've reworked the Khorne technology tree into two separate tabs. So pillars and armaments. Pillars, sequences of technologies that provide campaign-focused bonuses. Each tier requires a certain amount of battle victories to unlock. The bonuses are similar to the old tech tree, with some tweaks and new additions here and there. Techs that focused on improving blood hosts are grouped together within their own pillars for improved clarity. Okay, so obviously you can't see what much does there, but you can have a look at them to see various different pillars. Interesting. Armory. Armory technologies that provide battle-focused bonuses Each group provides bonuses to a specific type of unit. Kind of how they did before, but it's a bit of a nicer overall tech tree. Did his look like that, or did it look slightly different? I honestly can't remember. Okay, reoccupation immunity. While playing as Khorne, we noticed that the AI would often occupy recently raised regions, blocking Khorne's intended expansion into these areas. To solve this, we have introduced a reoccupation immunity for regions raised by Khornite factions. Now, once the Khornite faction, raises a region, it cannot be recolonized by any faction, including Khorne, for 3 turns, providing a grace period for Khornite factions to naturally expand into these areas. Because obviously you've got the natural expansion and things, yeah? Because you're meant to sack and raise some and only settle some. In creating this new state for raised regions, we also revisited the Beastman faction to improve clarity around blocked ruins. Ruins that are currently blocked from colonization now display a distinct flaming ruin icon instead of a regular icon. Ah, I like that. Making them easier to identify. There we go. So yeah, because I don't think I'm the only one who's run up to a settlement going, I'm going to settle. I can't. Okay. Anyway, so now, on to the legendary heroes and units. So the first of our new legendary heroes is SKULLA ANFINGRIMM. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Please correct me in the comments. SKULLA was once a fierce Norscan warrior known for his bloodthirsty raids and relentless victories. Khorne granted him powerful gifts, but this overwhelming might eventually transformed him into a Chaos Spawn. Though still favoured by Khorne, he has become a mindless beast, treated like a prized hound by his tribe rather than a respected lord. His aggressiveness and brutal nature make him a formidable combatant, embodying his savage bloodlust of Khorne. Now more beast than man, SKULLA's instincts are dominated by chaos, driven by primal urges. He kills in the name of Khorne, becoming a terrifying presence on the battlefield. In the heat of combat, he embodies his dark god's desires to kill for Khorne. Primarily, his playstyle focuses around disrupting formations, making him especially effective against small entities. So his abilities here: kill for Khorne, an explosion, mindless and savage. He produces an explosion from his body, causing severe disruption and sending nearby enemies into a rampage. Serpentile tail, passive AoE hex. Whipping his huge tail, he inflicts direct damage in a radius around him. Brass collar, it's a passive augment. Imbued with his master's hatred of magic, SKULLA's brass collar grants enhanced ward save and magic resistance based on the number of kills achieved, so constantly stacking based on the amount of kills. And another active ability here, Crimson Juggernaut. A nigh unstoppable force, SKULLA gains increased speed, charge speed and charge bonus, whilst gaining a glorious charge attribute. Interesting, sounds like a fun guy. I think you're going to be smashing him into the little guys, aren't you? Into the infantry units, just to shred them and break them apart. And the second of our new legendary heroes, SKARR BLOODWRATH. A chaos warrior devoted to Khorne, SKARR is a skilled and brutal combatant. Known for his savage and bloodthirsty nature, he dispatches enemies with alarming ease, even resorting to ripping out throats with his teeth. He has endured gruesome conditioning, and with each death and resurrection by Khorne, he loses fragments of his sanity and personality, a fate he has faced many times. Isn't that kind of like a Sigmarine in Age of Sigmar, but dedicated to Khorne? Just going to leave it there. SKARR's reckless bravery was evident from a young age when he channeled and killed his tribe's chieftain. Challenged and his tribe's chieftain even, not channeled, who was twice his size. He dismisses those in the south as weak and instead seeks tougher foes in the north. Warriors are drawn to him, not for his charisma or leadership skills, but because he is the strongest warrior, leading by example in the chaos of battle. So why is he a hero and not a lord? He specialises in anti-infantry and anti-piercing, making him highly effective at cutting down high-tier armoured infantry with ease. So he's a Chaos Warrior killer. His abilities include Bloodthirst, passive ability. The more murderous SKARR is in battle, the more he heals, allowing him to continue the slaughter in Khorne's name. So constant heal while fighting. Bloodborne, passive ability. When SKARR's health drops low, he receives a burst of health, the quantity of which is directly tied to his Bloodthirst ability and the number of units he has previously killed. I like that. Skarmourous Butchers, another passive ability. Ever keen to strengthen his bloodthirsty herd by culling the weak, he provides nearby troops with a passive bonus that grants nearby friendly increased weapon strength and armor sundering. So I like all the passives because it makes him easier to use. Inevitable Horror, an active one, reduces leadership and increases fatigue of enemies around him, making them easier for SKARR and his minions to finish off and break. And Bloodstorm Blades, another active ability here. His unique archaic weaponry grants significant damage and anti-infantry bonuses for a short duration. So let's take a look at him. It looks fairly nasty, yeah. Okay. And now let's take a look at the new Lord, the Bloodspeaker. Cruel instigators, the Bloodspeakers drive others to extreme efforts in their quest to become more Khorne-worthy. They're priests and zealots who drive those around them to acts of frenzied worship, promising glory, demanding obedience, and threatening punishment for weakness or failure. These evangelists, I can't say that word, evangelists of Khorne are fiercely loyal, worshipping him with religious zeal. As skilled marauders or chaos warriors, they are savage and bloodthirsty in battle, relentless in their devotion to combat, never allowing rest or respite in their service to Khorne. They excel at enhancing the units around them with buffs. When mounted, they gain added mobility to support and boost their allies more effectively. So, scary corny priests. And now let's start on the units. So, Blood Beasts. Among Khorne's cursed followers, these creatures stand out as both the most brutal and mysterious. Their true nature remains unclear. Whether they are demons or mortals is unknown. Resembling massive ape-like monsters, they excel in powerful charges and deal devastating armor-piercing damage. Their sheer size and ferocity grant them strong armor-piercing melee capabilities, while their monstrous presence instills fear in their enemies. Marked by Khorne, they gain all the benefits of his favour, further enhancing their destructive power on the battlefield. So, nasty infantry killing monsters, and I'm going to be honest, I'd be scared if that thing ran towards me. Slaughterbrutes. The Slaughterbrute is a towering chaos beast, overflowing with muscle and aggression. Those who attempt to control these savage creatures with ordinary methods often meet a grisly fate, as the Slaughterbrute will tear apart anyone who tries to break its will. Only through sorcery can its mind be enslaved, bound to a chaos champion. As a unit, the Slaughterbrute's immense size makes it deadly in melee combat, with high armor-piercing damage. Its scaly skin provides resistance to missile attacks, while its presence on the battlefield induces terror in its enemies. Such a monstrous entity is unbreakable whilst in the presence of an alive lord. Should they fall in battle, it will rampage and cannot rout. I like that, because it's unbreakable for a while under certain circumstances, because I'm not a fan of unbreakable units. So yeah, and I have heard from other people, apparently it's not just if you die, it's if your lord is broken, it can break as well. KHORNGORS, so our new Khorne Beastmen unit. I imagine these are usable by the Beastmen. In fact, I think I've heard they are. These units play an aggressive, hard-hitting role on the battlefield, marked by Khorne to receive a variety of combat enhancements. As they take damage, a special ability activates, making them temporarily unbreakable. Again, a temporary run rather than a permanent one. Equipped with two-handed weapons, they excel at delivering armor-piercing melee attacks. Additionally, their Vanguard deployment allows them to be positioned outside the usual deployment zone, giving them a tactical edge in battle. I like the armor. I really like the look of that. WRATHMONGERS. These Chaos Warriors are fierce and skilled fighters, fueled by their devotion to Khorne. Their savage bloodlust makes them brutal in battle, and they hold disdain for anyone they see as weaker. Their madness only deepens after surviving a night against demons. Equipped with a pair of flails, chains with hammerheads on the end, they deal devastating splash damage and armor-piercing damage. Infused with demon power, their attacks are both powerful and unique, tearing through enemies with ease. And SKULLREAPERS, our last unit. So actually, let's have a quick look at these guys. Nothing too special. They do look cool. SKULLREAPERS are massive elite Chaos Warriors, clad in heavy half-plate, chaos armor, and gifted with mutations that amplify their combat abilities. Each SKULLREAPER is as powerful as a chaos champion. Only the Warmongers outrank them in strength and status. They are cost-effective anti-infantry, similar to Chaos Warriors of Khorne, but with less armor and dual-wielding weapons. I mean, definitely less armor. Maybe half plate, but most half plate covers the top rather than the bottom. SKULLREAPERS, WRATHMONGERS, BLOODSPEAKERs, and SKARR Bloodwraith are units and characters that follow the most devoted to Khorne, rather than undivided warriors of chaos. Therefore, Skarbrand, SKULLTAKER, Arbel, Valkyr, and the Demon Prince, one fully aligned to Khorne, have access to them. Skarbrand, SKULLTAKER, Arbel, Valkyr have access to the Bloodspeaker. But the Demon Prince will not have access to them, and Archaon doesn't have access to these units yet. But it's something we want to address in future updates. Sorry, that bit's all a bit of a mouthful. Basically, not everybody gets access to them. Okay, so that is everything here about all of the new Khorne stuff, all the new Khorne boys. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Obviously, I've already got a video up about the ogres. I will do one about the orcs as well. Let me know what you think of this format, if you're enjoying it. I do apologise when I do stumble over words. I am quite dyslexic. Yeah, other than that, as always, an extra special thank you to our channel members and patrons. That is Monsters About, Nose, Andrew T, Prataru, Gavin, Jason Air, Newbie1 Kenobi, Skrin, Jared Horn, Space Ace 475, and Good Sir Twisted. And thank you everyone for watching. And if you have enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Cheers all.